It's a very big day today, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It is, we are now on a new studio, a joint studio, and we are going to our brand new studio in a couple of months. So everything is going full steam ahead. And I'd like to really get to the U.S. topics already, but sad to say, it is a very big day for Johnson & Johnson's Joaquin Duato. I salute you, sir, after 38 years, or should I say, that would be a total of 28 years. One second, let me be very specific on that because it is a very big day for Johnson & Johnson. After 27 years, Mr. Duato, if you are listening to me right now, it is your day because it is very clear, Mr. Duato, that the persons that destroyed me with Johnson & Johnson, namely this clerk by the name of Joyce del Rosario, is here right now in Oklahoma City. After 27 years of being maligned by this person together with a person by the name of Ramon Piabeliada, it is very clear that I was set up. And I think that led to the removal of the consumer products of Johnson & Johnson to Kenvue. In my opinion, sir, I would like to be very clear. I think there should be a buyback. But that is too technical, and it will take probably 5 programs to explain that particular segment. All I can say right now, Mr. Duato, we salute you. You are going to be hailed one of the best executives ever in the history of Johnson & Johnson, being chairman and president CEO at this point in time, because it is very clear that you were able to weather the storm and you can come back very strong with new pharmaceutical products, a better OTC program, and as I said, there should be a comeback for Johnson & Johnson Consumer, because I think the legal issues on that, I think another setup, because it is very clear that I was set up too, and it is only after 27 years 27 long years that finally the truth came out. And that is, I was maligned big time. So this person by the name of Joyce del Rosario is here right now in Oklahoma City, and I think she followed me all the way to Guymon, Oklahoma. It's that evil, it's that criminal, and therefore I'd like to say, Mr. Duato, she was the person that truly destroyed Johnson & Johnson. And so, for more particulars, all you have to do, Mr. Duato, if you're listening to this video right now, is to give me a call immediately at my US cell phone number, 405-503-8511, or you can hit me via Viber if I am not in the country or I am out of the country. My Viber number is 405-503-8511, and my email address is superdeals1494@gmail.com. And my other email address would be midwestern91@gmail.com. So, let me get to the main topic today. It is so clear that Donald Trump gets it. The President of America, the great Donald Trump, was able to apply that legendary algebraic formula of mine, which is the push and pull. He pushes 25% of taxes. There is a loss of 6 trillion in the first few weeks, and that 6 trillion is gained back after a few weeks. That is the excellent execution of the push and pull technique, which, by the way, can only be gained through Midwestern Business Advisors LLC. And you can give me a call immediately at 405-503-8511 if you want to master this. And here comes the biggest deal of all. After President Trump applies the push and pull technique, he loses 6 trillion, okay, and gains it back for the economy with more than 6 trillion in the next few weeks. Because based on the intersection management approach, it is very clear that he is going to make this economy grow and grow and grow every single month, and not that stupid, worthless quarterly analysis which is done by some central banks, unfortunately, including the United States of America, because based on Economics 101, the gain of any economy should be measured on a quarterly or semestral basis. Semestral has nothing to do with schools, you know. Semestral means 6 months. Okay? That is how it is done. That is the new concept. That is why my book is going to become the #1 economic bestseller of the world because of the new economic policies, principles, and above all, systems. There was one guy who just said, you know, my company is great because of our business culture. The culture is based on the system of the company. The culture becomes worthless. I like to underline that, worthless, if the system is all wrong. And that's why we have a big debate right now with big companies like Procter & Gamble, and the list goes on. Because the culture is nothing if the system does not work. The system achieves the net profit, all-time high net profits for that given entity. So, Mr. Duato, let me be very clear. If you now follow the system I just invented, you are going to create a larger Johnson & Johnson overnight, because it is very clear that this criminal by the name of Joyce del Rosario is here right now in the state of Oklahoma, stealing, robbing from me every single day, maligning me, including my own wife, being robbed every day with my intellectual properties. So it's very clear. But unfortunately, she doesn't know what she's stealing. But she's making some money, obviously, because she wouldn't be here. But I do not want to delve too much on that, because this is a very big day for the Trump economy, the President Trump economy, because it is very clear that the United States markets, the 50 states, I call it the 50 states markets and its trust territories, is the most valuable economic entity in the world. In other words, if China continues to be the GOAT in increasing its tariffs against the United States, it will bite back against them because their products will not be saleable anymore in the United States and its trust territories. I'd like to repeat, if China continues this trade war, I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, they will not last. They need the American economy because of Walmart, because of Target, because of so many big retailers here. Without the U.S. big retailers, Chinese products are nothing. So President Trump continued the trade war versus China. And it's very clear that Joyce del Rosario is stealing from me and selling these intellectual properties with the Chinese. That is very clear. So it's a big day for America. And I'd like to be very clear also that the 2% inflation objective is not met because of wrong policies. You know, inflation is all about, right now what we have, an American inflation, is all about the overflow of money. As I would like to tell the Germans, in 1938, if you just burn this currency, the money, the Deutschmark, the currency, if you just burn those liquidities, there wouldn't have been a war. Because a high money supply creates a high inflation. Inflation is an oversupply of money in the market out there. Secondly, if the United States government can issue a big warning on hoarders and price manipulators as economic sabotage, we can have 1% inflation in no time at all. But what is the Fed doing? It is doing the most worst type of economic scenario, which is what? Wait and see. Wait and see. Wait and see. We economists, the real economists, we already know what to do now. We don't wait and see until the economy sinks down every single hour. And that's why the best way to achieve the 2% inflation target would be to immediately come out with a policy on hoarders. That we know who they are already, the price manipulators. That should be against the law because that is economic sabotage. And thirdly, the most important right now is to come out with the biggest investor plan for local investors who are doing already right now, which is what? Investing all their manufacturing plants in the United States. But we want an instant success, and we want to immediately address and achieve the 2% inflation target, which is to make sure that the investors package would be a global advertising package. In other words, out of the 189 civilized nations, all of them must be informed that now is the best time to fly to America, buy a big piece of land, and put up your facilities here. Why? Because you are going to make more money in the long run versus in your current motherland. Because your current motherland, more or less, you're already saturated there. And that's why these animals by the name of Joyce del Rosario steals from me and tries to destroy this trend that we're having right now in America by selling it to the Chinese. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this will be addressed by the U.S. authorities, namely the FBI and the CIA and the die-hard Americans to really deport them tomorrow morning. Because there is no stopping America right now. There is no stopping America right now. Okay, it is very clear that if China will continue the trade war, meaning to say the increase of tariffs, ultimately they will lose and they will sell their products, or should I say, they will dump their products in countries that will not only lowball their prices but sell it at a loss. And once they do another price manipulation, what happens? What happens? It will only excuse me for that, because I was in another affair, another speaking engagement here in Oklahoma City. What will happen, ladies and gentlemen, is deflation. And currently, that is the #1 headache of China. Xi Jinping is really at a loss on what to do with the Chinese economy, because price manipulation has been abused too much, resulting into deflation. So, moving forward, we are now creating a very big package for U.S. investors. Okay, in fact, we are flying to Mar-a-Lago anytime soon to discuss the details, and as I told you, the bandwagon is very clear among the 189 civilized nations to invest in the United States of America. And if you want more details, all you have to do is to give me a shout at my US cell 405-503-8511, or you could go to my Viber number, okay, which is 405-503-8511, because the 189 civilized nations in the world, I guarantee you, will invest in the 50 states of the United States of America and its trust territories. Why? Because the numbers are so clear, and because the new legal system of America, the unbiased legal system of America, the zero racism legal system of America will protect your investment. It is better to invest now than invest later, because there is such a thing in marketing parlance as full economy for that given industry, or should I say it is really maxed out. However, we have other ways to do that, because you can use America as a base for import-export. There are so many ways to do it that is legal and very, very profitable at this point in time. And I am not a typical journalist because I don't want to even be called a journalist. You know, the name has been tarnished so much by certain personalities, like what do you call this? I will name you the biased journalists with evidence, with clear evidence that they are paid journalists. Okay, I am not a paid journalist. I am a broadcaster who delivers what we say, and we are the only journalist broadcaster that you can call up. The only one in the world. So if we tell something that is half truth, all you have to do is give us a call and we'll be there to explain. Or if you don't want to call us, you can email us, as I said, at superdeals, superdeals1494@gmail.com, or you can hit me with another email at midwestern91@gmail.com. That's midwestern91@gmail.com. And I was just at the airport. I got shocked, you know. I saw certain people from Unilever. But I don't want to get into that right now because that is too specific. I want to talk about the entire U.S. economy. Because the entire U.S. economy will grow leaps and bounds never seen in the history of America. It will finally beat, in my opinion, the largest economy of America was during the time of the great Bill Clinton. That will be surpassed by the Trump economy by leaps and bounds. By leaps and bounds. And we will expose one by one these animals who daily destroy, sabotage the U.S. economy. Because without them, this economy will just, oh my God, grow overnight. Never seen before in the history of America. So I'd like to repeat, what President Trump did a while ago was precisely achieve the push and pull technique. 25% loss after 3 weeks, 2 weeks. There was a loss of $6 trillion in the stock market. Now it's going back. It's pulling back. And it never ends until it becomes an intersection management system where it is all gain. It is all gain every single day. What he's doing right now is setting up the foundation, which is so strong because the American economy, in terms of demand, is still number one, undisputed number one in the world. Supply economics is right, but the future is demand economics, which President Trump is exactly doing right now. So instead of you wasting all your time hating the president, why don't for your change love him and make more money? Okay, to the Trump haters, why don't you stop coming out with these half-baked statements that are not at all true, because it's going to destroy you by next year. By next year, Trump will be all over the place, all over the map, becoming the undisputed #1 leader in the world. The most respected, the most honored, the most looked up to, because everybody's making money. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to end this particular segment because I am really coming out with the proposals tonight, because it has been long delayed. Because as I said, I have been harassed here in Oklahoma City. In fact, there were some death threats on my life by food poisoning, etc., which I am going to already talk with the authorities about that. Every single mayor in America will know about it. And we will name them one by one. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to your host, Gavin Batista, the Prosperity Channel, here in Oklahoma City. And I hope to see you soon in your given state or your given country. Again, if you have any questions, clarifications, just give me a call at my Viber number. One of my assistants will pass it on to me at 405-503-8511, or you can hit me an email at superdeals1494@gmail.com, or you can hit me an email with another email address at midwestern91@gmail.com. Good night, thank you, and make sure to make your big investments in America today before